Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Miyuki and this is Let's Make Art, and we letter together as a community every week. And we are doing something a little bit different. We're gonna be jazzing up some fun envelopes with some jazzing. And so we're going to be making these fun envelope liners. So this is really fun if you're part of watercolors or lettering or even art journaling, because Jessie does some patterns like these. We're gonna have some fun together today. So the supplies that we are using are, we're continuing with our March, April.
March has been a long month.
It's been for everyone, I know. Okay, this is the April project, or the April colors. We have deep yellow. I'm actually only going to use 2 of the colors that comes in your box, and azure blue. You can also use the red if you'd like, but I'm just going to stick with these 2 colors for this project. I'm using the Round Zero, the Princeton Heritage brush, and then for the paper actually, is we're going to be using the printout paper. So if you don't have, actually, let me go through the steps because then we'll go through all of them. I'll explain this at the same time. So the 5 different steps to create this is, 1 is we're gonna mix the colors. So you will see that we're gonna make some different shades of green. So I'll show you how to mix the colors. The 2nd step is you're gonna paint the liners. 3rd step is you're going to cut it. The 4th step is, oh, I forgot, I'll also show you how to do some envelope addressing and some fun ideas with that. And then, I don't know why I wrote 5th step, jazz it up now. Oh, jazz it up.
Jazz it up. Just draw some detailed hands and throw them on there.
That would work too. Not good at drawing hands, but I can give it a try. Okay, so, but what I was gonna say is that this is, you can download this on our website if you'd like to go along with us. This is on our website, letsmakeart.com. But these you will have, if you have our box, you will find that they already come in that. And so we're gonna be painting directly on this paper. So you don't need any other types of paper if you have some envelopes, and we're good to go. Okay, so step 1, mixing colors. So the reason why is we're gonna make green is we're gonna make some fun patterns. I'm gonna start with this one. So this one has different shades of green. So I created for you also a color wheel that shows that we're gonna be taking our azure blue and our deep yellow, and we're gonna mix a few of those shades. And this is a really fun thing to do to show you how many different colors you can create with just 2. So you can choose to, if you pick up the colors and you take an even amount, you'll get a green. If you want more of a blue-green, you're gonna take more blue and just a little bit of yellow. So you can see how that's a little bit more blue-green. You like that color?
I do.
If you want more of a yellow-green, you're just gonna have a little bit of blue and then a lot more, maybe I'll use this, a lot more yellow.
I like that green too.
So I'm gonna create a few different shades. Ooh, you know what we can do is you can have, so I'm gonna take this color and I'm gonna make an in-between of this by taking this color and putting it here and then picking up just a little bit of this. So see how that's a little bit in between? So we have more of a yellow-green. I might make more of that actually. A light green, a green, and a blue-green. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more because I'm gonna make a whole pattern of this. So you can also do this by just adding drops. Okay, now for this fun pattern, that might need more yellow. She's gonna feel like a little scientist over here, mixing up some colors, having some fun. Okay, now to create this pattern, there is one simple technique. I'm gonna take this one. So I am going to color or paint directly on here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna specifically think about going in the same order. I'm just gonna kind of go for it, but I'm gonna pick up a color and I'm gonna start over here. And I'm simply going to push and lift up. Maybe grab a different color, push and lift up. And when you're doing this, it will create that fun, just cool little stroke. I'm going to go a little bit below this arrow, so you'll see that I wrote draw on the top half a little past the arrows. So I'm just going to draw a little bit past, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the opposite, is I'm going to start, and I moved, instead of using my brush at this angle, I'm going to now have it point down this way at this angle, and I'm going to go the opposite way. Pick up a new color. So you're kind of just dipping in the new colors as you go along. Do some up here. So we're going to cut this out, so that's why I just went a little bit over that line. So this is going to be so therapeutic and just very relaxing. And all I'd like you to do is just keep switching directions. So I'm literally just pushing, lifting up. It's okay if it's not even in a straight line. We're not going for perfect. We're just adding a fun little touch to our envelopes when the time comes to mail these out. So we can spread some love. And if you want, it might be fun if you have different brushes, sizes, is you can play with different sizes. So this part isn't a lettering technique. This is literally just a pattern technique.
The old dab.
The old dab. Have you ever done this before, Keena?
No. But it looks very
Has
satisfying.
Jessie done a pattern like this? I feel like she has.
She's done one similar, yeah.
What was her technique? Brush. Oh, yes.
She uses a filbert, is what it's called.
Oh, what shape is that?
It's like a kind of half round. It's kind of chunky. Oops. I don't know how to describe it.
Chunky monkey?
Chunky monkey, as they say. Ben and Jerry's.
Okay. Also, if you're wondering who Jessie is we have an art journaling box. Keenan films her videos as well. They're really great. And so that's why I was wondering, because I feel like this is an art journaling pattern. So again, I'm just picking up color. So it will look like this in the end.
It also makes me think of The Matrix, even though that isn't, I mean, they're numbers, but still makes me think of it.
Yeah, because of the pattern.
Yeah.
There's so many, and you can do them all in this way. You can make them longer if you want. I'm trying to think what other.
What if you drew a shape in the middle of them?
Yeah.
And then did the patterns all around that shape?
Oh, okay, so you're saying draw a shape here?
Yeah.
What shape do you want
Or
me to
like
draw?
a shape peeking out, so like they open the envelope and there's just some eyes peeking out of the envelope. Wouldn't that be sweet?
That would be so scary.
No, like little cute little eyes.
I would be like, someone's watching me. I don't know if I want to see what's inside. Okay, well, I'm going to take his idea and do half a shape.
Yeah.
Do a little, like a little moon that's popping out this direction. But you can do that as well. Okay, I think we're going to fast forward. Well, yeah. We're going to zoom as I finish this. Do I need to finish it? Do you want me to finish it?
We can fast forward.
I'm trying to think because it's right here too. We'll fast forward. And I'll meet you back at the end.
Zoom on.
And we're back. Okay, so I finished this one. I decided to add a little fun sun to that one. Now, for the second one that I want to show is Heidi, our marketing gal, actually had already started on both of these. So I'm just going to finish hers off. But what I wanted to show is she did two different versions. So can you tell how on this one, all of the leaves, you have the vines, all of the leaves are in the same direction. Whereas this one, it's the same concept of switching every other one. So the leaves are going this way on this one, and then the next one they're going the other direction.
Cool.
So that is what I did on this one, and it's also really fun to see because these leaves are a little bit thinner, so you can decide which ones you like. These leaves that I did were a little bit thicker, and so to do that is I'll show you both of them. So I'm going to take, I think she just took azure blue. And now, so these leaves are going in that direction, so I'm going to flip this. And I'm going to draw my leaves the other direction, just because it's easier for me to draw them this way. So that's why I flip it. So to draw leaves that are this same size, you are just going to simply use the tip of this brush. So I'm not going to press very hard. So I'm just lightly grazing, drawing almond shapes, drawing C's. What else have we said they were? Smiley faces.
Eyes.
Eyes. Draw eyes. So again, these are kind of abstract looking leaves. And I'm leaving a little bit of space in between. You can either choose to make them the same size space in between each one, or you can exaggerate, and you can even make some smaller. You can have more space in between. Totally up to you. But that is how you would make them thinner. Now, if you want to make them thicker, I'm going to switch this back around. I'm going to do the same stroke. However, I'm going to apply more pressure. So I'm smushing the brush and applying more pressure. So it's really cool. You can make so many different types of patterns with just this one simple drawing. And so if you want also, sometimes your leaf might look like that and it won't have any white space in between. That works great as well. They're all leaves. And if you want, you can also add a vein to yours in the middle if you'd like. You can do them here as well. So that is how you do those two. Now that I have that done, I'm going to cut them both out. And so I'm just taking my scissors and cutting these out. So if you are doing this at home, I realize that this paper, so this is computer paper, but the paper that I like and I recommend is it's a little bit heavier and thicker paper. So this one is called HP Premium LaserJet paper. Maybe our video editor, Chris, can add that in so you can see it of what it is. So that paper is really great because as you see, you can paint directly on it and it won't bleed, because sometimes if you've used regular paper, you might notice that sometimes it bleeds.
When you say bleed, do you mean go through the paper completely or go off the paper?
Bleed. That is a great question. Let's see, how do I explain that? I guess the term is maybe more feathering.
Oh.
Because when you use not so nice paper, see how the line is still pretty crisp?
Yeah.
But feathering meaning it gets a little fuzzy, which actually for liners, it's not that big of a deal. So you can totally give it a try and see if you like it and if it works. But I mean, this I press so hard so you still get it in the back. So we're not too worried about the bleeding through. So I guess it is more feathering. But I just wanted to explain that. So now you're going to take your liner and you're going to place it inside. As far as sizing of envelopes, if you were wondering, these envelopes that came in your box, if you have our box, oh, it got kind of cut off, but that's really cute actually.
Nice.
I like that. And then maybe you write hello or hello sunshine on the middle. But, sorry.
Or you are my sunshine.
Oh, that's a great one.
That'd be great.
My brain is like a kid sometimes. I just got really excited about that. Okay, refocusing back to what I was saying was that this size of envelope, you probably can't see in comparison, but this size is an A6 size, which means it's 4.5 by, I wrote it on here. The card that will go in it is 4.5 by 6.25, but this liner fits an envelope that's 4.75 by 6.5. It's a lot of numbers. I know that's confusing, but it's written on there. And so the cool thing is that the reason why I included this size envelopes is that we made some cards earlier together, and it will fit inside like that.
Ooh, nice.
And that actually matches perfectly.
Yeah, it does.
So even though this card's a little bit smaller than normal, it still works. It perfectly fits inside there. Okay, so let me put this one in as well. If they don't slide in, then just cut off the edge a little bit more. Yours might be a little bit too big, but these are fun ways to, like I said, jazz up your envelopes. And then, okay, so you can use a glue stick, you can use glue, you can use Elmer's glue. I really like, this is really cool scrapbook tape, and I really like this. We have some. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is slide that in. I'm actually going to fold it first just to create a crease. And then I'm going to just do the top actually. So I'm going to fold that back on over, and now I'm taking my scrapbook tape dispenser, and it just comes out like that. I don't even know if it's technically scrapbook tape, but that's what I'm going to call it. Oops, I got a little bit on there.
I actually don't know what it's called either.
Huh?
I don't actually know what it's called either.
Mono permanent adhesive.
That's it.
That's what this one's called. So I just did that, and then I'm going to press it. So you will notice that the glue part of this envelope is still there, but now you have a fun liner. And you don't, I think in my last one, actually I should mention that, is we also did liners, fun different liners if you want some other ideas in a February box, so we can link that as well. But you don't need to actually, I don't remember if I did last time, but you don't need to tape the bottom to it because it doesn't move as well, or doesn't move. So that's how you do that. Now, let's address these. Okay, so there are two different ones. We'll do this one first. Oh, that's okay. I'll show you to do this one.
Can you put the blank one on your left side?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
Like that?
Perfect.
Okay. So to make a pattern that matches this one, yeah, I'm just going to do it like that.
What are we calling that pattern? Squish pattern? Hash squish?
I don't. You come up with a name.
Candy corn squish size pattern.
If you push harder, it will create candy corn.
Perfect. Candy corn hash.
I'm going to do it on this one actually, because I realized this is that pattern. Okay, so I'm going to do that same thing. I guess it doesn't matter. I was thinking which step you do it, but I'm going to do both of these letterings, and then I'll do the watercolor at the end. Sorry, everyone, I was switching my train of thought. Okay, I want to show you some lettering now. So you will see that there are two different versions that I did. So you can either decide, do you want to do your block lettering or do you want to add some script lettering? It is totally up to you. This is your own envelope. But what I want to show you is, let's help yourself and just make some lines. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. If you like, you also can just draw 3 lines and have the zip code up on the same line, which is technically how it works. But I'm just going to draw some lines on myself. And if you want, you can take it a step further if you want to use your pencil and just lightly sketch out your lettering. You can do that as well, or you can freehand it. But I'm just lightly doing it. And the cool thing is that we can do that because I'm going to use a black Budenosuke brush pen to go over it. So what this is this is a really cool, great brush pen. This one is the soft tip version. I don't have the hard one with me, but the only reason why I want to bring that up is that if you're wondering why, if you have one that is blue, it still works. It's still a brush pen. It might just be, this one is more flexible because it's softer, which means that when I push, I can get a really thick line, and if I lightly graze, I can get a thick line.
Thin line.
Thin line. What did I just say?
Both were thick.
Well, my bad. Thank you for correcting me.
You're welcome.
Yes, you can get thick lines by pushing and thin lines by lightly grazing, if you want to create that effect. You also can just letter with it, and you can, which I'll show in a second. So this I'm sending to Sarah Cray and her family, who is our amazing watercolor artist here that you all know. Okay, so I did it like that. And then what I want to show you is that if you don't want to have thick lines and you just want to kind of have thin lines, is you can also just use the tip of this and lightly graze. So you can see the variance of thick strokes or thin strokes that I was able to create here by just lightly going for it. And again, these pencil lines just kind of help me keep it straight. You know what's a really cool idea that I just thought of is by the time this releases, if you want to go back, you can go back to our bonus tutorial that we did. And it could be cool if you did your lettering and it didn't have to all be straight. And then around it, you drew the same leaves.
Ooh, that would be cool.
That's another fun idea. So I like to spread out my zip code at the bottom. It's just a weird personal preference. It really doesn't matter. But I like to do that. Okay, I'm going to now, nope, I'm gonna do all that at the end. Now I just wanna do this one and show you that it's the same thing, but as I wanted to show this as another technique is if you are someone that it's easier to think in a box, what you can do first is you draw yourself a box and tell yourself, okay, that is where my address is gonna go, and that after will be our leaf border. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have 3 lines here just to show you the difference. And now I have my guidelines. So I know that sometimes helps just to think because a lot of times I get asked, well, how do you know how to center? Or I'm afraid to mess up. First of all, you can't mess up unless you write the wrong number, which I've done before. But that is the only thing. So don't worry so much about making things centered. But I just wanted to give you guys guidelines and tips to help you out in those cases. So I'm going to again use my brush pen. Maybe I'll do a script for this one. And I also wanted to show is if you're telling yourself or you're talking to me and saying, Nicole, this thin and thick stuff is just too complicated. Here's what I want you to try is you saw that I did that and I didn't think about any thin and thick strokes. Now what I can do is after the fact, I can add a thick stroke if I want that and think to myself, okay, this is down because the motto is thin on the up, thick on the down. And now I'm just gonna go over it and add a thicker stroke. So this would be
that
down.
changes the look.
Ooh, I'm glad you got excited.
Yeah, I too am like a child sometimes and I get very excited.
So again, where I would have been going down, I'm just kind of overlapping and drawing another line. So can you see the difference between these ones versus that one? And that is this, even though this is a brush pen, that technique is called foligraphy, which is kind of where you do it after. And so we can link, we have a beginner lettering series that goes over that a little bit more if you want to do that as well.
Question.
Yes.
Is there a rule, I don't know what they're called, I'm going to call them crossbars. So for like the T or the F, is there a rule for if those are supposed to be thin or thick?
So usually horizontal is thin.
Okay.
And I would say that can be a personal preference. That's a great question. But I would say, I'm trying to think if there's any other examples. So what he's talking about, you're talking about like the cross here.
Yes.
Or the F here. So those are personal preferences because if you're looking at this and if you do thick on the down, thick, thick, just kind of a thick letter. Whereas if you do thick and maybe it's thicker and then medium.
And with that letter, it seems negative. Like it seems like it's a bad thing when it's a double thick.
This seems negative?
Yes. You know, like a fail. You know what I mean?
I shouldn't have done an F.
It's all good.
It's not a fail, people. Don't listen to Keenan.
No. It just seems negative.
But and it's a great question it's up to you to explore. But those are things that I love that he's asking because I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering that too. And the beautiful thing about lettering is think of it more as you're crafting these letters and you're designing it. So if you take a step back and you're like, okay, maybe I want to try and make that thicker. What does that look like? That's how you're going to learn and grow, because if you don't try, then you're never going to know if that was even what you wanted or not. Because I think that's where a lot of people get stumbled, is that you don't want to do it wrong. But there's no wrong. There's just if it feels different, that's how you go off of it. Okay. Now, I am just going to draw this. Sometimes, here's a trick. Sometimes I write street if I don't feel like it, and well, in this case it didn't really work, but you don't always have to spell out the whole street name. So I'm actually going to make this is another technique, is I'm going to make this all left justified, meaning that all of my lines, do it like this, are going to start here. And then so this is called a ragged, I think that's the term.
Staggered?
Staggered, yeah.
Hagrid?
But that way it works like that if you want to do it as well. That's also another technique that might help you. Now, with that said, both of these, I'm going to let this dry a little bit longer and then I'll erase it at the end. But now I want to show you how you can, the final step of just jazzing up your envelopes. And so I'm going to take this first one and I'm going to take the same technique and I'm going to make a border. And I'm going to go all the way around, just adding my dots. Or no, what do we call these?
Candy corn.
Candy corn. Keenan's hungry.
Always.
And drawing or painting those techniques. If you ever run out, that means I need a little bit more water because it just got a little dry. And you know what I thought about? This looks like, you know how, I don't even know if it's the olden days, you all can probably correct me, is when there was red and blue borders on envelopes. What am I thinking of?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
I can picture it. I can't describe it more than what you are currently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
This is what that kind of reminds me of.
Oh yeah, totally.
Now I want to go look it up after.
Makes me think of Christmas garland.
Oh yeah. These would be perfect for Christmas cards. Again, this is just a fun way. You can make envelope art. And I think I said in the step-by-step sheet, it's so much better to receive this than a bill in the mail.
Oh yeah, totally.
So you can make someone's day so easily. Okay, now this last one. I'm going to use this border as my starting point, and I'm going to take my color. Let's do this color since there's a lot. And for this, what I suggest to do is just trace over your, I want to do blue. Switching it up. Ooh.
Ooh, that's a nice blue.
It's a pretty color. Ooh, you know what I'm going to do? Make this all different colors. So I'm going to overlap a little bit. And I'm going to add some yellow. Make it a fun multicolored.
That is fun.
So I'm drawing my vines first. You can just leave it like that, actually.
Yeah.
That looks really cool. So you can either leave it like that, or you can do the same technique that we were doing and add little leaves around it. I think I'm just going to leave that for now. And that's it. We're done. That was so much fun. I'm excited to see what you guys create. So you saw now that I have all my envelope liners in here. I have the addressing. Take any of the cards that we have made together, slip that in. I have a feeling, especially during this month, again, when it's time and you're able to mail cards, these are going to be so crucial for everyone's feeling connected during this time. So I would love to see what you create. For now, share it in our group. It's a great way. We all are together. We're all trying to come together to root each other on. So share this. We have a watercolor Facebook group, or we have a lettering Facebook group that you can be in both. We also have an art journaling Facebook group as well. And I really hope everyone is taking some time to reach out to people and remind each other that we are all in this together. So have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next week.